This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky. Science is neither inclusive nor exhaustive. There is so much that our human minds can't even begin to conceptualize or comprehend. Quantum biology and quantum physics help us to understand exactly that there is so much more beyond our realm. And speaking with me today is Candace Stuart Findlay, a transformation facilitator and host of the Empowered Whole Being radio show. Hi, Candace.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you 8 minutes of awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing this time with me.
Mm.
So, Candace, I would like to start first by you sharing a bit about your study, your very comprehensive study of quantum physics and quantum biology.
Well, let's say it's ongoing because it's not over yet. because I practice this very specific type of meditation called interdimensional meditation. In that particular practice, I don't know what else really to call it, because it's not meditation in the sense of what the standard definition of meditation would be. It's actually the practice of shifting one's consciousness from here in the third, fourth dimension all the way into the center of everything, so that you experience the oneness, you experience the unity. There really aren't quite the right words to describe all of it just yet. However, I practice this on an ongoing, almost daily basis. And what that does is it provides more clear, in-depth information and download to my third dimension self, so that I can then connect with the people that I need to talk to, whether they're scientists or researchers or whomever. It prepares my human head, human mind, human context for this new expansive understanding. So that's really been a key element of the research that I've been involved in for several years now. What started it is that I inherently knew, like many of us who are in release lives is my term, that I was more than this physical self. And it was like an itch you can't scratch. I didn't know how, but I knew somehow, some way I would get there. I would connect. I would feel and experience, not intellectually, but experientially, fully, the knowingness of that, of being fully integrated. I had written this book, Spiritual Transformation Simplified, and yet I knew it, even though the manuscript was complete, I knew it wasn't right. I had based a lot of the information on my research and studies of the Heart Math Institute at the time, but I knew there was something missing and I didn't know what. One day I sat to do my meditation, which was then expansion of the heart, following the Heart Math principles. And as I was doing that, all of a sudden, a very large, I don't know, kind of like a wormhole kind of thing opened up. And I felt myself, my consciousness being sucked into it, like pulled through it. And it was an interesting phenomena. And then I found myself like pausing, and then it would go again. And after, as in reflection upon that, I realized it was moving through dimensions. So what happened is that I know the date, it's like emblazed in me. It was February 5th, 2012, when that first ever happened to me. I mean, in my human awareness. And I knew that I was to practice this type of transference of consciousness daily. And I did that for months. And it was during one of these sessions, meditations, whatever, that I was clearly shown, because each time I went, I felt like I was shifting more and more into the center. Because what was happening is that the energetic structure of my third and fourth dimension bodies was being altered to allow the connection on a greater, more, or integration, I should say, and a greater and greater depth. One of these sessions, I was shown quite clearly that the heart, there's three components of our third dimension self that are, and fourth dimension self. When I talk about third dimension, I mean our physical, the more solid, and then the fourth dimension is the auric body that goes, it's aligned with it. In the third and fourth dimension bodies, there's three areas that are key for the electromagnetic energetic communication that we're doing 24/7. The heart is the most powerful transmitter, so that's the output. The belly brain, and I can address this in a minute, the belly brain, which is the whole enteric nervous system, is the input. And it's the belly brain that really has the most control over the pineal. And the pineal, if you can imagine it, it's straight down from your crown chakra, straight down and right in, straight in from your ear. So it's right straight and almost in the very center of our head. If you picture it in there.
Like
it's
a little
small
pine cone.
little,
Yeah,
like a pine cone, right. And inside this little pine cone are microcalcite crystals. And these crystals are there because they take in the electromagnetic frequency information from sight, sound, light frequencies, sound frequencies, smell, or, they take that data that's all directed to the pineal, they take it in, and then they expand the bandwidth, and then they multi-directionally disperse it. So the belly brain controls whether or not we are downloading information from either our fear-based frequencies, what I call the blocking system, or if they're downloading information from our higher being. And how that works, if you use the analogy of like a radio dial tuning a station, the belly brain, which has 100 million neurons, it's very, very powerful. They call it the second brain, and it's for good reason. The belly brain actually secretes all the same neurotransmitters as the brain in your head, and it actually stores 95% of the serotonin as opposed to what's in your head. And it's the serotonin that the pineal converts to melatonin. So it controls that. The belly brain controls that. So if our input is coming from our fear-based blocking system, then this is tuned in to receive the thoughts and images that are fear-based. So here's an analogy. You're in a movie theater and you're watching a drama and it's on your edge and tense. Yet you aren't personalizing it because it's not your experience directly. You're having an empathic moment with it, but you're not personalizing it. So that's what it's like if your belly brain is receiving in fear-based information, but it's not really personal. So therefore, there are no thoughts and images that are going to be pairing up with that. And just the same in also if you had thoughts and images that were fear-based or like unworthy or all that, but they weren't, you didn't feel that energy with it, it still wouldn't be personalized. It's when the intake comes in from the fear-based frequencies, and remember the belly brain correlates with the sacral chakra, which is the seat of raw emotion. So if the belly brain's fear-based frequencies, and then that tunes in the pineal to receive, like kind of like the cloud, and your brain's the computer and you're downloading from the cloud, receives in the images and thoughts that pair up and personalize that feeling, then we're off on the freight train to crazy town. It just takes us over, right?
Right, right,
So that's why those three areas I was shown, heart, number one, belly brain, number two, pineal, number three. And at the time when I was shown that during one of these sessions in interventional meditation, I did not have the understanding of the science of it. I just knew that those three areas were absolutely key. So after that, I connected with different scientists, some personally that mentored me, some that I just read extensively of their published research, and found out what was really going on, how we're incredibly designed, both third dimension and fourth dimension bodies, to be the most sophisticated transmitter and receiver of electromagnetic frequencies. That's how we really communicate 24/7.